Hey mate, so I haven't really made an ASD check-in video in a long while, and the main reason for that is I've just learned a lot over the past 4 years, and I built this social toolkit which allows me to operate within the sort of like neurotypical world much more fluidly than I ever have been able to before in my life. So I just haven't had much to vent about. But quarantine has brought new challenges. One of which is I'm just sort of left with my thoughts alone just to deal with them. And I've been getting a lot of intrusive ones which trigger this sort of deep sense of shame within me. And the main reason for that shame is these thoughts tend to be moments from my past when my lack of like social literacy at the time led to me mistakenly kind of trampling over people's boundaries. I'm much more socially aware now though, and because of that I'm more clearly able to put myself in positions of the victims of my behaviour in those times and look at myself through their eyes. And frankly, I don't like what I see. I see someone who was a dick, an asshole, unempathetic, just a pedant, and in the worst of memories, a creepy weirdo, and I can fully understand why people were uncomfortable around me. Now, I understand that I never meant any harm in those memories, but I do still feel the guilt and shame that they're interlaced with, and frankly, that shame makes it really hard for me to live my life, because every time something good happens to me, my brain just throws on one of those memories to show me just how bad of a person I actually am, and it's time I internalize the idea that I'm not a bad person. I'm just autistic, and because of that, some things are harder for me than they are for neurotypical people. And yes, I've made mistakes along the way, but I've learned from those mistakes. I have built social toolkits. I have built support networks. I have developed perspectives and protocols and coping mechanisms that allow me to negate and lessen the struggles that I face when it comes to processing sensory information and navigating complex social interpersonal dynamics. So you know what? I'm done. I'm done feeling bad for tripping while I struggled to keep up. But my mistakes, though personally enriching, did cause some people discomfort. So, to those people, I want to offer an apology. My behaviour was never targeted. It was never intended to harm. I just genuinely didn't understand the acceptable parameters of our interpersonal dynamic. But even so, I did cause you harm, and I want to offer my deepest apologies for that. I am so sorry. I have learned from our shared experiences, and I'm happy to say that I don't make those same mistakes anymore. But even so, that harm is still real, and your feelings about it are entirely valid. I can only hope that I didn't cause you any long-term distress and that you're doing okay now. But if I did cause you long-term distress, I am so sorry for causing you that hurt. I hope it brings some sort of comfort to know that I learned from those mistakes. But if not, then fair enough. I hope you do okay in the future. I'm sorry. Now lastly, but definitely not leastly, my autistic siblings. There are many things that neurotypical people take for granted, minefields that we're not able to navigate as innately as they are, and in our pursuit of just trying to live life on an equal playing field, we are inevitably going to step on a few minds, making them uncomfortable. But as long as they're imagining you complexly, they should understand that those mistakes are just you trying to learn something that doesn't come as naturally to you as it does to them. And therefore you shouldn't feel shame for making those mistakes, because every muck-up that you do, you can learn from and use that learned experience to build more robust toolkits and support networks and coping mechanisms that help you lessen your struggles. I love you. I hope you're okay, and you've got this. Seriously, you do. We've all got it. There's nothing wrong with you or me. We're fine. We just struggle with some things more than others. And they struggle with other things more than we do, so. See you around.